over something a little bit harder, more challenging than some of the other ones. And let's see. We're talking about the random action generator. So what is a random action generator, you ask? Basically what it does is, wait, need to get the 90s music on. All right. So basically what the random generator does is, let's say you want to spawn units and you have 3 different types of units you want to spawn, and you want it to randomly choose which one it's going to spawn. Or you have a spawned unit and you want it to follow 3 different paths like I do in Tank Wars, then it can randomly pick a waypoint that you want it to go to. So in this example, we're going to do both. We're going to do random spawn and we're going to do random waypoint. So randomizer really applies to almost anything, and it's really great because what I found with my later horde maps is I started using the random action and it changes the game all the time. So every time you play it, it changes it, so it's a different experience, right? So it's not exactly the same troops or exactly the same waypoints it's driving. So really it just randomizes it, which I think is really cool. Anyways, so here we go. Testing random action. Just got a blank map again. Playbill. Okay, open the playbill. And this one is going to be the playbill for spawning, right? Playbill, spawn, random. Again, that name right there is just letting me know what the heck it is, right? So action, usually I would do the spawn squad here as I did in the previous tutorials, right? And so you usually just go, okay, I want to spawn squad, right there, spawn squad, pick your squad, boom, you're done. So with the random, it's really cool. So random weighted actions right here. So why is it called random weighted actions? So you notice it opened up a new thing here called random weighted actions. So right click, add. The value, the weight of the random action, 1. So if I have multiple and they're all 1, it's going to equally randomize between all of them. So I can change that. I can put some at 0.5 or whatever, and it will have less action, less chance of it picking that action. If that makes sense. So under here I got my action. So I'm going to go my spawn squad. So I'm spawning a squad, right? I'm going to spawn it here behind my base just for the purposes of this. And it's going to be American. Let's just do vehicles, right? So this one is going to be spawn there, right? So if I ran this map right now, it's just going to automatically spawn this, right? So it's a really easy way of duplicating this. Drag, drop, and clones it. You can use copy and paste. Make sure you guys know that. You can do that too. So now I have 2. It's the same location. So this one might be half track, right? I'm going to show you a nice little trick after I do this. So I'll do another one. This one might be Stewart. I'll just do one more. Dunk. And this one will be, I don't know, Weasel. All right. So do my due diligence in naming this stuff, right? So we know what it is. Stewart. Spell it right? Spell it right. Yeah, spell it. This looks kind of funny. This one is half track. Right. So now what's going to happen is when the action comes here, so this is a random, right? Random action. So I know what it is. So it's going to play this playbill. Action, the first thing is the random action. They're all weighted the same. 1, 1, 1, 1, right? Everything's weighted the same. So it's an equal chance of any of these 4th vehicles are going to spawn right here, the same location. Of course, you can do different ones, but that's the second part. All right, so one trick I wanted to show you, and purposely I did it like this, is if you have the same action, you can edit multiple actions at the same time. I hold down Control, just generic Windows stuff, and anything that is shared property, you can change all at once, right? So if I want to do the spawn AI lock, if I want to make them all vet3, you know, anything like that, right? If I want to name them all, but I'm not going to do this for this. You know, anything you want to do here, so you can name them all. And you'll notice the ones that are different will be blank like this. So the squad group, right, that I want to do, Weasel, Stewart. But if I select multiple, it doesn't show it, obviously, right, because it's different, if that makes sense. So I have my four different ones that are going to start, and they're all going to spawn here, right? So it's only going to pick one. It's not going to spawn all of them, right? And so the next thing I want to do, well, you know what? Just to make it interesting, I will name them all the same thing. So the S group will be, I'm just going to call it spawn 1. Right? So now they're all called S group spawn 1. Remember, S group is how you're going to identify it later and put functions against it, so moving, whatever it may be, right? So far we have spawn random, should make that a little bit descriptive, spawn random vehicles, right? And random action, choose one of these, spawn here, that's all it's going to do, right? So I'm just going to minimize this so it's out of the way, right? I'm going to put a wait command. Wait 10 seconds. And then the next one I'm going to do, and this really isn't a great practice, but for testing purposes, it's relevant. But in a real map, you'll want to keep your spawns and your movement commands in two different playbills, so you can loop them properly and you can call them properly. But for this example, I won't, because it's just an example. So call this waypoint 1. Watch my waypoint tutorial to learn more about these, right? I'm going to do this one, it's waypoint 2. And I'll do this one. I'll just do 2 for now. So waypoint 1, waypoint 2, right? So spawn vehicles, waypoint 1, waypoint 2. I'm going to do another random here. Right. Random weighted actions, right? So random action. It's actually called squad path action. All right. Right. So this is actually random. Again, these names are really important when you get into more playbills and you can't figure out stuff, or there's a bug and something's not working like it's supposed to and you're trying to just troubleshoot it, right? So got that. So my squad path here is going to be squad path name is going to be WP1, right? I'm not going to loop it. I'm just going to go. And the vehicle, what the heck did I call these things again? Spawn 1. They're all named spawn 1, so it doesn't matter. And the target group is spawn 1. Okay, so it's going to basically just go to this waypoint 1 if it picks this, right? Make sure you name stuff. Really important. Thank me later. Another weighted action. This will be waypoint 2. And path name is waypoint 2. Right. So both weighted at 1, so they have an equal chance of picking either one, right? So when I did the horde maps. When I was using this for spawning troops in the horde maps, things like mortars, snipers, like I have a whole list of different ones to spawn, but I would put like at the snipers and the mortars at a much less frequency, so it doesn't randomly pick it one for one type thing, because too many mortars makes it really hard for players, I found. So just a little FYI. All right, so we got our action, random weighted action for, it's going to choose between this. It's going to wait 10 seconds. And it's going to do another random squad path action where it's going to go to either path 1 or it's going to go to path 2. And in case I miss it, I am going to go and do another wait, drag, drop. I'll put this one a little bit longer. All right, wait 30 seconds. And I'm going to loop it, so it will do it forever, right? Like that, okay? I talked about different loops before. I'm going to do a little bit in-depth tutorial on it, because you want to make sure with loops that you shut them down at some point, because if you have too many loops going on at too much, it's going to start doing the performance issues later on, 20 minutes, half an hour into the game. So you kind of have to be real resource friendly, so to speak. All right, so we got this going to happen. Did I start it automatically? Immediate start. Right, boom. All right, let's see what happens when we test this. Random action. Random weighted actions. That's what it's called. I use it a lot. I use random for almost everything. You can do it for spawning units. You can do it for waypoints. You can do it for spawning players, spawning enemy locations. So different locations where they spawn, you can have it randomly do that. You can random everything. You can use random weighted actions for like really everything. And like I said, the benefit of it is it's a different game every time the players play. It's not going to be exactly the same. You just have to watch the balance, because when you use random weighted actions, you have to be a little bit more coherent on the balance of the game to make sure it's not too hard, so there's not like 14 tigers coming out at once and you're like, bleh. So, which has happened before. That's okay. Test, random action. Alright, everything looks good. Let's see what happens. We got the random spawn, wait 10 seconds. Random waypoint, wait 30 seconds, loop, so we'll spawn again and do it again. What's also going to happen is that the first unit that I spawned, remember I named them all the same. I named them all whatever the name was for the S group. So what's going to happen is the first vehicle is going to go wherever the second waypoint is. So we got our funny little base. So it picked the weasel out of all 4 of those vehicles. That's the one the randomizer picked. And remember, waypoint 1 is here, waypoint 2 was here. So it should be picking one of the two. Unless I might have not done it right, but let's go troubleshoot if I did it. It's looking like it's stopping. Let's see if the loop keeps going. So if the loop's going to go, another vehicle should appear. But we're going to check out what's going to happen. So as you can see, the loop works. The spawn random units is working, but it's not going to the wait. Well, now it's going to waypoint. So that's an interesting little. So what I'm thinking is, because waypoint 1's over here, waypoint 2's over here, it can't see, it's too far. You can't see that waypoint, which is interesting. Usually you want your waypoints to start somewhere close, right? So there should be another one starting up any second now. So it is working. But maybe you just didn't see the view. But I'll show, let me look at his settings again.
M29, Weasel here.
Alright, so Weasel started. These guys are stuck up here at the end of the waypoint because I did not loop it. Remember, I did not choose loop. So randomly chose that one again. Alright, and these guys aren't going to go anywhere because they're already on the waypoint. So let's see what's going on here. So let's jump back. Random squad. Waypoint action. Acceptable proximity. That's probably one of the issues I'm having. It's not an acceptable proximity. So usually when you do waypoints, you want to have it somewhat close. But let's just keep looking here and see what's going on. Waypoint 1, waypoint 2. Oh, the notorious worst thing in the world. Typos. Look at that. Because I was using the C, holding on the C button, I guess to clone something, copy something, it put the letter C in there. Oh, you just love that. Typos have always been a plague in the programming world. And I'm not immune to them. I still make the mistakes. Alright, let's try this again. Let's see what's going on. So the playbill did work. It was just a user error. Alright, back to Company Heroes 3. First thing you always want to do when you make a mistake in a playbill or playbill's not doing what you want it to do, check the typos. Right? That's why I always try, when I create a variable or create an S group, I always try to use the copy and paste for that reason. Because typos are like the biggest, most common mistake in playbills. You'll do a typo and you'll be like, why isn't it working? You'll find out you have an extra letter in there or a C from when you hit copy. Fun stuff like that. This is a good exercise. Alright, try this again. Let's see if it's going to go to waypoint 2 now. Because now it has two options. Before it just kept doing waypoint 1 because it couldn't find waypoint 2 because it was called WP_2C when it was supposed to be called WP_2. It's almost like I did that on purpose. Alright.
Roger that.
So what do we got? Oh, sure likes the weasels. Picking the weasel again. Alright, let's see. Oh, see now it's going to waypoint 2. And the waypoint 2 is over here. So it's going to waypoint 2. And there it goes to waypoint 2. Another vehicle should be showing up here. I love this timer, by the way, because it really helps when you're doing playbills. No, I think it was 30 seconds. I probably could have done it sooner. But so wait, it's at the end of waypoint 2. Oh, look at that. With the big tank. Let's see which way it's going to go. After 10 seconds. Oh, it's going to 2 as well. Now we have to wait again. So we got to see it go to waypoint 1. Make sure the randomizer works. Playbills, you spend more time sometimes testing than troubleshooting. You actually do creating the waybills, I find. Because you just want it to do what it's supposed to do, and for some reason it doesn't want to. And then you just keep troubleshooting it, and it does. Simple math, right? Alright, we'll wait for one more. At the end of waypoint 2.
Here we come,
Alright,
Jerry.
sure likes those weasels. So if I find that it is producing the weasels more, I'll just lower that weighted action. So it keeps going to waypoint 2. But it will eventually pick waypoint 1. But you can change the weighted actions so it's more frequent on some things than other things, right? Like I said, I have to do that with mortars because if I don't, then people complain on the map that they get overwhelmed by 14 mortar teams coming at them and blah, 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 blah. So I put the mortars at like half the weight of everything else. So everything else goes first, and then once in a blue moon, a mortar team will come up.
Point us at the enemy.
Sure likes these tanks. Curious if it's going to go waypoint. Oh, waypoint 1. There you go. See? Randomly going to 1 now. So we got 3. See? Because I named all the S groups the same, it's triggering all of them to waypoint 1 now. See how that works? That's That's why you never want to name everything the same unless that's the purpose that you want. So now everybody's going to waypoint 1. Make sense? Hope so. Thanks for watching.